All right, there we go. Well, sorry about the delayed start. Had some technical difficulties going on there. What a way to start. You know, that doesn't like mess with your nerves or anything as you're about to start a show. Start with technical difficulties. Anyway, good evening, everyone. It is November 12th, 2019. This is Hitting the Wall, and I am your host, Kyle Walker. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me go ahead and hop screens here real quick, because again, I was fighting with my computer as we got started. So first off, always the way we start, and most important, I want to thank Joe for coming in last week. Joe, if you guys didn't catch his show last week, he was right here in the chair all by his little lonesome as I was not here. He did a great job kind of substitute hosting, shall we say, for the show. So if you did not see last week's show, make sure you go back and check it out, because Joe totally rocked it here in the studio last week. So make sure that you don't miss that. Now, that was the good news. The unfortunate news is after his one stint as the host, Joe said he's out, he's done, no more appearances in November. He's big time in us. So he's going to not be on next week as was regularly scheduled, but no Joe next week. So we're going to have to, maybe live with that, because it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So anyway, I can see people already hopping in the chat room. That's awesome. Thank you guys very much. And yes, some of you guys already know what the hat's about. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in a minute. So anyway, like I said, no Joe next week. But coming up in 2 weeks, we're going to have a very special guest on the show. And so I want you guys to maybe submit questions now or submit them early so that she knows what she's looking at. Sorry. So we've mentioned before, I have a good friend named Shawnee. She is actually active duty Air Force living in Germany. She will be here in town for the holidays and is going to come on the show. She'll be right here in the studio with me in 2 weeks. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask an active duty Air Force personnel living in Germany, then please submit them to us, and I will make sure that we ask them on the air so that you can get answers. Super cool. She's going to talk about, of course, being a female in the military, living abroad, being an African-American woman in the military, and then anything else that you guys might want her to address. So that's going to be super cool. She's going to be on in 2 weeks, again, live right here in studio. So submit your questions to her. And then hopefully between her and then what Joe did last week, remember that I have absolutely offered up this chair to anyone who wants it. 2 weeks ago, we talked about finding your voice and then finding what it is that you want to contribute to the world. And if you need a platform, if you need the platform to get something out to people, to anyone who may need to hear it, I offer you this chair right here. Joe took it last week. During the summer session, when we did our summer shorts, a few people took it. So I offer it to you. If you need a platform, then this is it. This is it right here. Because if it hadn't been offered to me at one point in time, we wouldn't be where we are tonight. And so this chair is open. Now, you might be asking, where in the world are we tonight? What are you talking about? Well, this, my friends, is episode 100. So it is not episode 100 of Hitting the Wall. You haven't missed that many, trust me. But for me personally, this is my 100th podcast where I have sat here or sat somewhere, gone live, and tried to share what was on my mind or on my heart or what was happening in the world or whatever else it might be. This is number 100. And so today has been a weird day. I'm not going to lie. There's been a lot of mixed emotions today. And I know you might be thinking, dude, 100 episodes, big whoop. I mean, that's cool, but why would that affect you? Well, it affects me just because of the journey. This has been really a heck of a journey. So we first aired, the first episode that I did live on Facebook was on June 13th, 2017. So it was actually Father's Day weekend. So it seemed like a good time to start. So yeah, sorry, I just read a comment from Joe. No, I didn't get the sign done tonight. I don't have my fun sign that has the special guest. It would have just said episode 100. So no, I'm sorry, I don't have that. I was just actually at my youngest daughter's 5th grade school performance. I had to come screaming home to get the computer fired up, and here we are. So like I said, Father's Day weekend, or yeah, I think I actually did film the first one on the weekend. But anyway, June 13th, 2017, that was the original air date for this show. Now, the show started out as just a desire to help divorced fathers and divorced men. Like, that is how this started. And if you've been with me since the beginning, you'll know that the podcast idea was picked up by a Christian radio station. And so I had to tailor myself, or, kind of aim the show in a more Christian and religious way. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's just spiritual gift wise, evangelism is not my forte. So it was really, not a struggle, but it was certainly something I had to work on from the beginning. And thus, Walking with God with Kyle Walker was born. Yay, it was born June 13th, 2017. So if you haven't gone back, the Facebook page, that's what it's called, is still up and live. Even though maybe doing a Christian-based podcast was not it was not my strongest play, I really think we had some good episodes. We had some really good stuff as part of Walking with God with Kyle Walker. Just a few of them that I'm really proud of. I was really proud of the 3-part series that we did on losing your faith. It was first losing your faith in people, then it was losing faith in yourself, and then Joe joined us and it was losing your faith in God. I really thought that was a good piece. And no, I'm not tooting my own horn. Thankfully, Joe came on and saved us at the end. But that was one I was really proud of. Another one was the aftermath of the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting. If you remember that from more than a year ago, maybe getting closer to 2. So that was another one I was really proud of. Marriages Gone Wrong that I did during the holiday season last year. Another one very proud of. Post-divorce dating. We've talked about that a few times. That's always a fun one, just because of what a mess it is. But that was a good one. And then, the last one that I wanted to mention is Joe and I did an episode on what if the church has hurt you, because even back then when we were still the Christian-based podcast, when we were Walking with God, and even today still, if you have the difficult questions about faith or about religion, or if a member of the church has actually hurt you, whether it be mentally, physically, sexually, any way, we'll talk about it right here. And I know my boy Joe, he'll chime in right now and agree with me. If you have a difficult subject about religion, Joe is ready to tackle that for you. And I will just sit here and lob him the softballs, and he's going to crush them out of the park, because he wants to have those conversations with people who have been hurt. And our show about what if the church has hurt you is one that I'm very proud of. I think we did a really good job. And Joe says the best show was the synagogue episode. Okay, I like it. Thank you. And yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite. So those were some good ones. And of course, that's not to say that we haven't had some flops, because we've absolutely had some bad episodes. And when I say we, I mean me, because I've absolutely had some bad episodes. Whether the subject was just kind of weak or the message wasn't clear, I've done that, where like I'll have something on my heart or in my head, and man, I'm so excited to bring it to you guys, and then I flubber the delivery. I spend 30 minutes stumbling over myself, or my train of thought will just derail and there will be no survivors. So that has absolutely happened before. And then all the way down to just technical difficulties. I remember there was an episode that Joe and I did, and we didn't have a whole lot of content. We were going to sit around basically for 30 minutes and talk about, being fathers, and brag on our kids, and just talk about the experience, just kind of a fun, lighthearted episode, because we had so many deep ones and deep, heavy episodes coming up previous. So I think we were over halfway. We were maybe 20 minutes into it, and the Facebook feed completely cut out. The episode got deleted and nothing was ever seen. And so it's like, oh, well, that's done. So I do remember that one. So we've had great episodes. We have had some episodes. We've had some that people have been really ticked off about. We have some that people really loved. We have been everywhere in between. We've had shows that were completely praised, and we've had shows that were completely panned. And not to say I haven't been attacked personally, because I absolutely have. Anytime you go out on a limb, or you offer your own opinions, or you offer your stance, and you do it in a public forum, as we do here, then you are open to many lines of, ridicule, insult, because it's happened before. Some of my really favorite ones that I've been called delusional, I've been called disingenuous. I've been called a liar. And then my favorite, I've been called a charlatan. That's still my favorite insult that somebody sent me over a Facebook instant message after one of my shows. So we try and sit here and we try and be positive and we try and help people. But no matter what you do or how you do it, you're eventually going to piss somebody off and they're going to take a shot at you. So yeah, I've absolutely been called all those things in the span of these last 100 episodes. But you know what? No matter what they call me, I'm going to keep doing this show as long as somebody is helped by it. I know there are people who like this show, and so I keep doing it for them. I don't do it for the people who don't like it. And if somebody doesn't like it, they don't have to watch me. And as I've said on an episode previous, that is how people actually try and get back at me now. If somebody's angry with me, it's not like they'll just unfriend me on Facebook and go away. No, they'll unlike the show. Or they'll remove their support from the show because they know that is far more important to me than if you actually like me or not, if you're my Facebook friend. So I've found that humorous, that's how people choose to get back at me these days, is they'll just unlike my show because, man, every day I'm keeping an eye on the likes on this show. And if we gain one, yay. If we lose one, oh, man, it gets me right here, right in the twice operated on heart area. So yes, that's why, I mean, likes on Facebook are kind of the lifeblood of this show because we don't have a big YouTube presence. I would love one, but we don't have one. And we're not big like on the Spotify's and the iTunes. Our main home, our primary home is Facebook. So when the Facebook likes go down, it hurts. When the Facebook likes go up, yay, super happy. So if you're wondering why I harp on it on almost every episode, that would be why. So let's see here. Yeah, that's the people who don't like me. Okay. But yeah, after 2 years and 100 episodes, clearly we haven't found the fame and fortune that I was kind of hoping for way back when, 2 years ago. I really thought that maybe this show would take off, and it hasn't. But that is okay. All right. I am perfectly happy with our anywhere between 250, 400 views per episode. That's still really good. All right, and that's still more than a lot of people can say, and a lot of podcasters can say, who maybe just did one or two, lost their interest, and stopped forever. So as much as I want us to grow, and as much as I think we have a good, enjoyable product, we haven't found that fame just yet. We haven't found that big sponsor that wants to be a part of this. We haven't found the people that really want to chip in financially. But that's okay. Not many people can say that they've been viewed 1 million times. Okay, all of us here on this show, we can say that. This show, whether it be Walking with God with Kyle Walker or Hitting the Wall, has over 1 million views, and that's amazing. Okay, and not many people can say that they're walking around with their names on t-shirts that other people are wearing. I can say that because of you guys and because of the people who helped this show. There are people who wear t-shirts with my name on it. It is the strangest thing. Even I can't hardly bring myself to wear a t-shirt with my name on it. So the overwhelming message that I want to send tonight, okay, as we're just kind of looking back on these last 2 years, all right, I thought about, do I want to try and dive into some deep episode? Do I want to keep the momentum going that we've kind of been building over the last few weeks with what I think are definitely above average episodes? No, this is our 100th episode. We're going to keep it loose. And what I really want to say to everyone watching, whether you're watching now, whether you've been watching in the past, is thank you. That is the message for tonight. It is not what we are. It's not what we could be. It's not what we hope to be. It's not what we aren't. It's thank you. Thank you all so much for the support that you have shown this show, this dinky, nothing little podcast coming out of Kansas City, baby. Cheap pop right there. You guys don't have to waste your time on a Tuesday night watching me live. You don't have to go to our website and watch previous episodes. You don't have to support this in any way, shape, or form, but you do. And for that, I cannot thank you enough. Okay, all I've wanted to do since we started this was to help people. Okay, because this is where I'm going to lose it. Because someone filled that role for me. Okay, if you're a longtime listener, you know that it was my dear friend Shani who helped get me through my divorce. She didn't have a podcast. She didn't have a shirt with her name on it, but she does now. But unfortunately, that's because she passed away from cancer 5 years ago. But without her, I'm not here. I'm not doing this. I wouldn't have made it through my divorce. So I've said it before, and I'll say it again. What this show is, what it has been, what it is now, what it will be, is all for her. And it's the only reason, not the only reason, but it's my main motivating factor, because she did this for me. I'm paying it forward the best I can and trying to help people the best that I can in her memory, in her honor. So again, as we look back on 100 episodes, geez Louise, that's wild, 100 episodes. But it's because of her inspiration and your support that we have ever made it this far. That's how we made it to 10 episodes. It's how we made it to 20 to 50 to 100, and here's to 100 more. Because I already told someone that if we make it to 200 episodes, I'm going to have like 200 balloons flying behind me. And so that's more reason for us to make it to 200, just so that I have to tie 200 balloons to everything down here in this basement. That's going to be something. So yeah, so that's, I think it's the thanks I have for you guys, for the love that you people have shown. 1 million times viewed, t-shirts, no budget, just a podcast in Kansas City with, I'm no celebrity. There's no celebrity name attached to it. This isn't LeBron James starting a podcast where already millions of people want to hear what he says. This is some nobody in Kansas who wanted to help. And so, it's just a huge thanks from me to you. And it's also a big thanks to our guests. All the people who have joined us on the show, and I know they're sporadic and they're few and far between, but did you know we've had 16 people appear as guests on this show? Isn't that wild? Like, until I sat down today and counted them up, 16 people really surprised me. So a huge thanks to Joe, of course. If you remember early on, we had Josh, the masked veteran who ran across Iowa. He was on the show. Jason from Westside Family Church. My buddy Greg from Mid-American Nazarene University. Joe's bestest friend Amy, who brought a lot of class to the show, thank goodness. Joe's friend Carol. My daughters had been on the show. My boy Bryson, Chris, and Ethan, who kicked in on a summer short. Katie and her daughter Ash, and then her ladies that she brought onto a show. The Salty Dogs down in Wichita. Joe and Gabby, who did a summer short. Rob Wegner, who was on just a few weeks ago. If you can believe it, we have had that many guests appear on the show in our 2-year span, 2+ years, in 100 episodes. Without those people contributing and giving us different points of views and different ways to think, you guys would have gotten really tired of listening to me if I had done all 100 episodes just by myself sitting at this computer. But no, man, the people who come on here, the people who invest their time by showing up and talking and trying to help people through their message, again, we can't thank them enough for their time and their support. So all of them, thank you. Again, and just going down the list, Clover Hill Promotions, who we've mentioned before, the ones who do our website, the ones who pull all my blah-blah-blah off Facebook and post it to the website. Would not be here without them. Simply wouldn't. Like, there'd be no website, and there'd be no way to listen to us other than being here live on Facebook. And so, to those who watch, to those who have watched previously, even if it was someone who watched because they thought it would score them brownie points in my world, and trust me, there's been a few of them, the people who watch now because they enjoy what we do, and hopefully the people that will watch, because someday they're going to hear about us and they're going to want in on whatever the heck this is. A thank you to all of them, to all the previous, all the current, and all the future. And so I know we're only 20 minutes in, but I wasn't going to do any kind of big message tonight other than just relaying to you all how much I appreciate everything you've done for these 100 episodes. It's like I said, I've been wrestling with this all day. All day long, I've been trying to figure out how I was going to approach this, how I was going to make this interesting, how I was going to do this without sounding like a complete egotistical ass. Hopefully we did okay, because really this is not about me. This is about the people who have helped me This is about the people who have viewed. It's about the people who support this show, however they may support this show. You can support financially. You can support by sharing. You can support by inviting. You can support by buying a t-shirt. You can do it a lot of different ways. And if people hadn't supported it, we wouldn't be here now. If the Christian radio station 2 years ago had said, whoa, dude, you really suck, bye, we're not sitting here today. So as much as as much as this show has come along, I have to thank them. I have to thank the people at Htw 7 who originally gave me a shot when all I had was nothing but an idea. And so they gave me a chance. They gave me a forum. And even though we eventually split apart, had they not said yes, I probably would not have pursued it. I would not have kept going with what I thought was a worthy cause, which is what I think that this show is. So a big thanks to them. And so what I think we're going to do is we're going to end with this. All right. You guys know me. You know that more than anything else, more than being a podcaster, more than being a sports broadcaster, more than being a daytime banker, first and foremost, I am a father of my 2 beautiful daughters. And so the only way to properly end this show is with a dad joke. Right? That's right. So here we go. Why doesn't Cinderella play sports? Because she's always running away from the ball. Bam. There we go. And I even flubbered the delivery. If that doesn't speak to the heart of this show, I don't know what does. Hey, you know what? Next week, let's get back to what we do. We'll figure out something to talk about. Send in your questions for Shawnee when she gets here in 2 weeks. And thank you. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. This has been episode 100. We'll see you at 101 next week. Don't text and drive. Be nice to each other. Be safe. And thank you.